form means simple. Simple. It's GVZ, there's, and then he gave a designation of post, there's temple president, and then there is a temple commander, puchari, treasurer, vice temple president, secretary. He actually, started that. And, basically almost it, Prabhupada said, not too much titles, not too much management. We have to organize, but simply for the sake of preaching. So those who conclude that the title will give you automatically a spiritual status, that's a very poor understanding of Krishna consciousness. It's like Kamis, we come exactly along the same way. I'm the minister, of hygienic affairs. He's just the chief of the garbage company, Come on. Kamis are really good at distributing names, because in any Shudra feels like, I am the, I'm advancing now. I'm the mega minister of hygienic affairs, And they have all these titles. You go in these managerial buildings, there's all these signs and titles, and Germans are really good at it. They get even academic titles. Professor, doctor, Mutter, and sometimes it's just the titles, and there's a little name behind. And then you come meet the man, and what do you meet? A completely confused idiot who likes to eat too many sweets and cannot stand the presence of a woman without raping her. It's just with the one blonde girl, he's finished with all the time. All the times out of the window. So this is, shouldn't I produce that? That's embarrassing. Yes, our acharyas have long titles, but they all mean something actually. This is all meaningful. They all mean to say something. Even number 108 means something. Everything has a meaning. Nothing is just externally done. In the material world, everything is externally done. In Krishna consciousness should have a meaning. So much meaning that Prabhupada is, like a chirurgist taking apart the Sanskrit words. Each single one of them has a meaning. It's not a language for this when you want to have this kind of conversation, then talk Danish, but don't talk Sanskrit. It's a language which is very analytical, very precise, and very, this is what Prabhupada insisted. Even he knew people don't exactly remember that. Sometimes I book people who read like this or like that, and they cannot figure out it's Chinese or whatever. But Prabhupada insisted that, like example, the word-by-word explanation is there, which is interesting sometimes. You don't find the meaning actually that clearly defined even in the translation. As you find it word by word, suddenly you find, that's what it means. So in Krishna consciousness, everything has a meaning, everything is precise. That's why we chant, why we say certain things, how we relate to things. Everything should be meaningful. Prabhupada called it manishina. Devotee should be thoughtful, not just doing things brainlessly and automatically. And there's of course a sort of thing we cannot understand. They are coming straight from a spiritual real. We are not there. So we have to, in good faith, we have to practice, because we cannot yet, we didn't realize. But we should not be whimsical. We should not be fanatical. Fanatical means that you do something without knowing its meaning. That's fanaticism. We just do things, we feel really good about it. You have no idea what you are doing. It's very dangerous. So many people in the field feel good about so many things. And then what is the result at the end? You know how these people in Germany, not so far away from you, felt good in 1938. They felt so good. They were in ecstasy. Millions of them. Well, they were in ecstasy in 1945. Just shoveling the rubble, trying to find some potato to eat. So that is a result of material ecstasy. We are not supposed to conduct our Krishna consciousness on the basis of just emotional impact. This is also there. generally one joins like that. It's just a bunch of emotions. But very quickly one should learn to define, and emotions is that there. They are not emotionless, but they have to be controlled by Shastra all the time. And therefore one should be careful, and one should be aware, yet is a war of desire. Let not the material desire prevail. We know it's there, but let's not prevail. You know, it's a strategic thing. Like the first strategic move there is that you move yourself in association of those who have exactly the same problem. Not the same excess, it's the same problem. And you know, oh, how are you fighting with the material desires? Well, I chant today a few hours more. And I go on preaching, and I do this, and I do that. One has to be proactive, so that these desires can fructify. You know, that's a strategic warfare. You know, I move myself in this position. So Maya cannot hit me from outside like this, and from inside like that. That's the problem. She comes from both ways. Even you are closing and shutting down any external outlets, there is enough Maya inside. She will come bloop. And material desire is like fermentation. The example is given in Bhagavatam. Even when the mind is like a clear, quiet lake, you know, sometimes the lake can become so quiet, it exactly reflects your face like a mirror. Can I experience and see such a thing? These lakes can be so quiet and so steady that you can just look inside, you see yourself exactly. And suddenly from the bottom of the lake, where the fermentation takes place, a bubble comes out. And explodes on the surface, and immediately the surface is agitated. And immediately you cannot perceive yourself clearly. You see yourself still, but it's like, you know. So that's how we perceive in the material world ourselves. Due to the desires coming up, you think, yeah, that's me. Today I'm like that, yeah. But this is just a perverted reflection of our real image, whereby when the material desires are purified, then one can really see who is who and what is what, and who is me. It's a very good information, who is me. You can look in a mirror, you can see this is me. You know, even mirrors, you know that the mirrors in the mirror, they are also, you think, no, this is a quite clear image of me. No, it's not. You know how I had a friend who was making photography, and he made a joke. He took photography of himself in a mirror, you know. And then he took another photograph, the same photograph, in a mirror. You know, that's me. But then he cut his photos in half and tried to add them together. It never fits. Because the mirror is constantly, immediately, even the most simple, clear mirror is distorting the image. And that's just a physical thing, you know. But to speak of a spiritual reality. We will never get information who we are from the material energy. It's constantly distorting. Telling us, oh, you are this and you are that. They have these mantras for this. You are only as old as you feel yourself. You know, really. You can tell it to somebody who is just about to die. You can go and he goes, and you can tell him, you are only as old as you feel yourself. And he goes, then he dies. Oh, that's my father, he uses this mantra. We have to have courage. Somebody is dying, we have to give him courage. Courage. That's the key word. Karmas have all these words, you know. Courage. Positive thinking. You know. Speak up. Open your heart. You know. Yeah. This counseling and this mediation, all this is full of these expressions which actually don't mean anything. So okay, I want to have courage. Courage what? Oh, think positively. Come on, I'm passing through all the time. I have dysentery. Well, think positively. Well, what does it do to my dysentery? I can pass positively. I'm still passing. Oh, come on. You know, no, you are not getting older. You are getting younger. Since they write, sex gets better after 60. You know, it's a newspaper article. You know, they write, Mr. Doctor, Professor. Sex gets better after 60. My God. how embarrassing it can be. That you don't find in the Czech newspaper. Czech, newspaper, they commented on this issue. Sex becomes better after 60. It was commented from Czech point of view. After 60, you can attempt to have sex, but a good doses of humor is recommended. Because it's so pathetic, you can just laugh. No, you can have a peaceful sex life. Just lay down together and make some jokes, because it is a joke. It's more realistic. It's so embarrassing. It's so pathetic. So material nature is talking a very clear language. Therefore Prabhupada said we should grow old like gentlemen. Gentleman, he defined to one who is aware of his shortcomings. Who just knows. There's no really elevating process built into this body. This is just going to disintegrate the whole thing. And you cannot just go and, sex is better after 60 and smile and all the teeth are falling out. It's ridiculous. Just count the teeth, that's all. Prabhupada manifested all these symptoms described here in a very practical way, in broad daylight, on an airplane donating his teeth to his servant. You want? And just keeping on checking. Normally when the tooth is only a little bit deranged, we are going, alarm, alarm, there's something in the mouth. It wasn't there before. What's going on? The tongue starts to go around like a mad, So bodily conscious. You have a piece of food stuck in your tooth immediately. Alarm, alarm. This is 100% bodily consciousness. Something happens with your body, immediately alarm, yeah? So that shows us the way we operate. So you give a wonderful example that even the pain of death, which is the most, both emotionally and physically, is the most heavy pain, can be completely eliminated when the consciousness is transferred to a higher reality. Any questions and comments? This is one of my Guru said, I am so tired of preach to devotees. Bring me some other please. Because devotees are, no. Okay, let's do it. Okay. It's a fact. It's like preaching to car drivers how to drive a car. Yes, there is always a way to improvement how to drive the car, but they do it all day, so they go, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
You talked about we're struggling on the platform of passion, and then we just sometimes flop over to ignorance. But to my understanding, you need to go through the passion, right, to get to the mode of goodness.
Well, you only come from Tamil for good. It's an intermediate state of advancement, it's called passion. Still higher. But Prabhupada said, then you get fast out of there, because passion, first of all, is connected to Tamil. It's a reverse system there. And second of all, it always comes to an end. It always leads to something disastrous. Passion always brings a painful end. Always. I don't want to become now. It's controversial, but the comment from the other side was actually very nice. I like that. Whenever somebody came, oh no, this temple is collapsing. Oh no, we can't maintain these temples and all this. And he just looked at very cool and said, what do you expect from art of passion? This was created very passionately. New project, new temple. How many chandeliers do you have in a temple? You don't know this. But I grew through these days, I grew up. It's a competition of how many chandeliers on the ceiling, how many gold-plated altars, and how many deedis you have. I have 60 sets of deedis, and we have a deity you never saw. First Lord Nishingadev in the Western world installed, Nishinga Kshetra. Very soon the question arises, who is going to be the pujari here? We don't have a pujari. There was only one pujari, Krishna Kshetra Lord. Because Nishinga pujari, it's a little bit different issue, Hey, we need some, we need some Nishinga pujari. Oh. It's all mode of question. Never sinking in. Why to speak of brahmacharis distributing candles for 1.5 years, or 2 years. That's so fun. No kulega. No books. Candles. They melt fast as kulega in the sunshine, We had to isolate all the cars, and they were melting in the car especially a lot. And then candles. It brings you immediately to a level of relationship. Where's candle? No. I'm just mentioning it so devotees learn to appreciate what they have today. It's not negative thinking, it's positive thinking. Let's not do the same thing again. For what? For a temple where you have 2 kanishtas and 1 demon sitting there? Come on! This was what it was about. Therefore, there has to be always parallel line to this. Preaching, 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 preaching. I love some of my godbrothers who just born preachers. It's the most precious thing we have, the biggest asset we have, is the bhakta. Not the bricks and walls. Srila Prabhupada knew it. You find it in his letters. You see, Srila Prabhupada established so many temples. No. First preaching. And temple was for Prabhupada, a flat with 3 rooms. In Boston. The Satsvarup Maharaj was going out preaching to the student. That was a temple. He didn't say, before there is a golden plated altar and 6 sets of deities, there is no temple. He didn't say that. For a long time this standard was maintained. Temple means picture Panchatattva, Guru Parampara, chant Hare Krishna, and be happy. Make a sandwiches, bring as many as possible people around. That's the real thing. That's why I personally experienced the greatest level of happiness. When you go out with 2 brahmacharis, it was me and Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj, and the next Sunday 120 people are coming. That's the real stuff. When you temple, which was 2 rooms, it was not 3 rooms, it was 2 rooms. How do you put 120 people in 2 rooms? So we just opened the door and sell the prasadam, the staircase up in the house. Which was fortunately, the house was popular by some kind of not German gentlemen. Somebody from Istanbul usually. They just heard the noise, coming up the staircase, and on every step there was there was guests sitting eating prasadam. They just opened the door and they had 100 people sitting in front of the door, just eating and conversing and big preachings right away in the staircase. So we gave a plate too, and he was going, "Oh, that's nice, thank you." He said, "Yeah, but we have one little information. This is going to happen every Sunday." And he was like, "Oh, as long as you bring me the food, it's okay." And then he closed the door again, So we fed the whole house, and everybody was involved in this. What's this? We were so blissful we couldn't sleep. We call it the Black Monday. It was the whole night. The last guest was leaving 2 o'clock in the morning. And we were the whole night. I spoke to him, and yeah. And then, of course, Monday morning was a little bit, damaged sadhana. So, and then we just the whole week went out again. It was a 2-minute show, And then one bhakta joined, and then we had one bhakta who could stay in the temple during the week, but not on Sundays. Because his appearance and his preaching was of such a kind that we had a special bag, plastic bag prepared with dry bread for him.
With
so
what?
the whole dry bread. So he can go on Sunday to the park and feed the local ducks in the pond. That was his devotional service. And he was not allowed to come back before midnight. Because he was a foul guy. I told you about him, that was the gentleman who spun out of the machine in the fairgrounds. Because he claimed that his out-of-body experience and the major impact came to join Krishna consciousness when in a highly intoxicated state he entered this gizmo on this fairgrounds. This is some kind of like a spinning machine, like you spin laundry. And then you end up hanging on a wall while the ground is disappearing, And but in this intoxicated state he managed actually to climb to the edge of that machine during that full thing, which actually resulted that actually the whole thing spun him out. And he flew for a considerable distance into the local beer tent. It was a tent which served as a cushion. Fortunately, he survived. But he crashed the whole tent, of course. So he came flying into the tent like this, and he claims that was the impact where he realized he's not this body. And he was ready to tell this to every Sunday his guest 50,000 times, every Sunday. So this sort of feeding ducks is a higher concept. So he was, always asked every Sunday, he had his plastic bag and go to the ducks. During the week was not that many people coming, so it was okay. So that was our preaching in Berlin, but still, preaching. If you don't put the preaching to the anything else, then anything else is going to be good. Prabhupada ki jai.